no one brags that, our boss just cut us loose this weekend and we just got to do whatever we want. They might brag a little bit, but they won't brag as much as the person that says, oh yeah, guess what we did.
If you're creating the impression with your team that you have their back no matter what, I'm telling you that you're failing them as a leader because you are setting them up for failure.
Yeah. When the truth doesn't seem like it's gonna work right, the answer is not lies. The answer is more truth. That's what it is. And the example I use with that is if my wife cooks bad chicken, dry chicken, which we know she used to do, by the way, the solution isn't, hey, your chicken is dry, I don't like it. That's the truth, right? That doesn't seem like it's going to help our scenario. Big H's going to be mad. So what is the truth? What's more truth? More truth is, your wife, my wife, took care of all those kids all day, went out, got the groceries done, got everything ready, put that stuff in the oven. When I got home, it was ready. That's the truth. The truth is, I'm thankful that she did all that stuff. And this thing's not perfect, but I'm thankful. And the truth is, I'm being a jerk so you know what? Pass the ketchup. We'll make this chicken good, right? Where's that barbecue sauce at? The truth is, I need some barbecue sauce over here. That's the truth. The truth isn't it's dry chicken. The truth is, I need to be a better human being. So that's the same thing as that you're talking about with JP. The solution isn't, hey guys, the boss is bad. The solution isn't to lie to them and say, well, guys, I don't think we should be doing this anyways, and lie to them, and that's not the truth either. It's more truth. The truth is, I don't have a good enough relationship with the boss, or I didn't see the strategic picture, or I wasn't paying attention what was happening with the enemy. I made this mistake. I put up this op that we want to do. It got denied. It's not the boss's fault. It's my fault. That's the truth. So solution to truth not seeming like it's going to help the situation. The solution is more truth. That'll get you there. And taking care of your people, this has to be part of your culture, but it has to be understood in the right balance. And people in the SEAL teams have messed that up. People in all military have messed it up.
I've certainly messed it up, and I think it's a real trap. I think for young leaders because they want to be liked. You think, a good relationship is about if my people like me, and I see this with business leaders that we work with. I want my people to be happy, and the happier they are, and the more excited they are to come to work, then the better job they'll do. And it's a trap that leads you down the road if you let people cut corners. Okay, they show up late, they go home early. These performance standards start to slip because you don't want to be the person that really holds the standard high and pushes people hard because that's it's hard to take constructive criticism. And when you start letting people cut corners, you let things slip. You're actually failing them as a leader, and I think the recognition I had to come to was that taking care of my people meant looking out for their long-term good, their overall success, their ultimate success, not just the immediate, would they like to go home early? Yeah, I can let them go home early, but then guess what? Then we get behind on the project. Now all of a sudden we're in crunch time so that we, either we're going to fail, which is bad for everybody, or we have to come in, for the last 3 weeks and work overtime to try to make up for the time in order to get there, which is also miserable and terrible for everybody. So I think thinking about what the long-term success, looks like, and back to what we're talking about with training, just making sure those standards are set high so that people are ready for the worst case scenario they might encounter, whether it's on the battlefield with an overwhelming number of enemy who are in greater numbers, and maybe they're even they have greater firepower than we do and are attacking our position. Are we ready for that scenario? In the business world, are your people ready for if you're in the energy or construction space, for a major safety incident? Do they understand why they have to follow those procedures? And are we ready to handle this worst case, prevent that from happening, or stop it from being catastrophic if this scenario actually develops? If you're really in any business scenario, you're working on a project and you're trying to meet a timeline and stay within budget, just making sure that people understand how that's going to benefit them, how what they do is going to connect to the success of the overall mission, and then back down to them how it's going to benefit them long term when we succeed and we do a good job on this project and we have a client that's super happy about what we're doing. They're going to tell their friends. We're going to get more contracts. There's more opportunity for pay and promotion and all those things. But that only comes from keeping the standards high, not letting the standards slip. It's so hard for me with my kids, like you just said. I mean, when I've got young kids at home, my youngest is 4 years old. We just came through the Halloween season. He was in there like sneaking candy all the time. Like, what's in your mouth, son? Look, he's gone in and grabbed some candy out of the candy, basket or whatever that we had for Halloween, and just trying to, teach him. Look, I know the candy tastes good, but if all you're eating is candy, you're not going to be strong. You're not going to grow the way you need to. Your body's addicted to sugar. So I've had to talk to him about why protein's important. And he refused to eat his sausage and eggs for breakfast. Was that yesterday? I think yesterday morning, and instead snuck out the leftover steak. He's eating the steak, and he's like, "Look at my muscles, Dad." Yeah, protein. But I think just trying to make sure that like they understand, like, it's not immediate satisfaction. It's not immediate happiness. It's their long-term good. And I think one of the biggest examples of that, whether you're talking about in the military, and these are lessons I tried to pass on, to other leaders, or when we're working with law enforcement, or first responders, the idea that like you have a close-knit unit of people. And when those people, if you're creating the impression like taking care of my people means I've got their back no matter what. And that's kind of the way we think about it. And when I talk to leaders, like, oh yeah, definitely, I got their back no matter what. If you are creating the impression with your team that you have their back no matter what, I'm telling you that you are failing them as a leader, because you are setting them up for failure. Because that means you do something bad, you do something illegal that's immoral and unethical, I'm going to cover it up for you. I got your back. Instead of, hey man, I'm not going to let you do that, because I'm going to look out for you and your best interests. And if you're following everything that you're supposed to be doing, I got your back, absolutely. But if you stray off the path and you do something that's illegal or immoral, unethical that you're not supposed to do, I don't have your back. And that prevents people from doing that. So I think that's a trap that people fall into as well. I think when you're talking about close-knit units, that, I'm going to cover for you no matter what, instead of, no, man, I'm not covering for you no matter what. I'm looking out for the overall good of the team and the mission and your overall good. And if you're doing some things that you shouldn't be doing, and you start to stray off the path, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to let you know that you shouldn't do that. And I'm going to try to steer you back on the path. And that's what good leadership looks like. It's not just covering for somebody no matter what happens. And I think those are traps that are easy to fall into, particularly for young leaders that want their team to like them. And yet what you have to look out for is their long-term good. That's really what taking care of your people means, is you're setting them up for the long-term success so that they can ultimately be successful in their business, in life, and everything they're trying to do.
Yeah, and I got your back goes in two directions, right? So if I never tell you like, hey, Leif, if you do something that's illegal or immoral or unethical and I'm your boss, I'm going to pay for it. Like you're roping me in to go down as well. So you're not going to do that to me, are you? And if we have a good relationship, you're like, oh, dude, I didn't realize that. No, I don't want. So you look out for me, I look out for you. You take care of me, I'm going to take care of you. By taking care of you, what I mean is if you're doing the right thing, I got your back 100%. You to take care of me, you're doing the right thing for the right reasons. And if we got that going on, we're good. It's 100%. We're covering for each other. When you start doing something that you shouldn't be doing, or that's illegal or moral unethical, now we have a problem. You're not covering for me anymore. So this whole thing just fell apart. And that happens. And it's terrible. So you're right. Having that understanding is like, here's our standards. This is what we do. This is how we cover for each other. You're going to be in a good place. The other thing about this is the discipline, the hard training, the shared suffering, which results in winning. Guess what all those things do? They all build culture. They all strengthen the culture. That's what the military is, right? The military, how come we have a strong bond in our unit? Because we went through hard training together. How come we have an even stronger bond? We did even harder training. How come we have an even stronger bond? Oh, we went to combat together. How can we have the strongest possible bond? We were in the Battle of the Bulge together, and we have a reunion, and that's what we do every year for the rest of our lives. So when you do hard things together, that culture solidifies, and that's what the discipline is. No one brags. Well, I guess very few people brag that, our boss just cut us loose this weekend, and we just got to do whatever we want. They might brag a little bit, but they won't brag as much as the person that says, oh yeah, guess what we did? We did this badass hard training. We still went out, but we earned it. That's a totally different brag, and that's a totally different culture. So that's what we're looking for. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hey, if you want to get into these a little bit deeper, or you want to talk to us directly, you can go to extremeownership.com. You can join our online leadership academy. We talk about this stuff. This stuff is what we live for. And in the meantime, thank you for listening to us debrief. Now go lead.